Mant from Renewable UK, and I'm here today at the Manor Renewable Energy premises in Portland, filming a member spotlight. I'm joined here by Eric Briar, CEO of Manor Renewable Energy. Thanks, Eric, for inviting me here today.
Thanks for coming down. It's good to have someone from Renewable UK down in Portland.
Tell us a bit more about MRE.
We started in 2013, and our main aim really was to create an efficient way of providing temporary power. So we wanted to own the vessels, own the generators, and employ the people. That was our goal, really, a one-stop shop. And we've done over 30 projects now. In 2017, we're working closely with Manor Marine, who were the leaseholders for this property. They were our main supplier, and we decided that it would be a good synergy. We joined forces and have tried to bring Manor Marine into the 21st century and really create some renewable inroads for them so that they've got some different offerings. And that's the sort of combination of us has certainly been a strength. This year now, we've started our own survey division, and we've got technicians offshore doing other works that aren't related to temporary power. It's always a challenge for us and to try and achieve what we wanted to with some of the constraints. Obviously, COVID has caused us a huge amount of disruption, but we're back on track now and looking forward to a really good year.
Tell me a bit about your background then.
Most of my fellow directors, we come from a seafaring background, so 18 years at sea, 19 years at sea, and operating all sorts of vessels. We've operated multi-cats, tugs, supply boats, and right through to the first ever wind farm installation vessel, the MPI. I went on to operate ships and build ships, so hence my link to building ships and getting involved in Manor Marine. And fabrication and manufacturing has always been something that I wanted to revert back to, so this has been very good for me. If we can develop that and keep growing and get to the numbers we want to, that this facility can manage, and if we can develop where we are in Glasgow, our facility in Hull and Portsmouth, if we can develop those sites and keep adding people, keep adding resource and machinery, we'll be in the right place in 2025.
Net zero by 2050. How do you think supply chain companies like MRE will be able to achieve this?
Well, again, it's probably the biggest challenge. We feel that we need a bit of support from government and trade bodies to lobby for some areas where we need to do more manufacturing. We need to be more. There needs to be more local content. That's for sure. And there's obviously not many manufacturing companies like us that build boats for ourselves, operate vessels, and do the full range of engineering services. To get to net zero, people have got to buy into a lot of changes, and with that change will come cost. You know, we see it a lot of times where we're looking at battery solutions, we're looking at hydrogen solutions, but there's one thing for sure, that's going to take a bit of investment.
So what do you see the challenges being?
People, really. I think the biggest challenge for us is at the moment we're training for the next 8 weeks. We've got 5 people on courses every week, and if you ask me again in 8 weeks, we'll have 5 people for the next 8 weeks. Just for MRE, we've got 150 full-time equivalents this month, and in Manor Marine we've got 66 this month. So significant growth over a relatively short period. Now, to achieve what we need to get to 2030 even, is going to be a huge amount of training and long-term training, not just short-term courses. So we've invested in apprentices. We've got 5 apprentices every year. We need more crew. We've always tried to keep local content and British crew where we can. That's not always possible now. So we're seeing changes that we have to deal with and put contingencies in place. Everyone's going to have to be doing that, but the challenge is to get people to buy into it and understand the training, the level of training that's required.
Now I'm at the HSV building with Leif Cooper, Engineering Director, and who also heads up Manor Marine. Hi Leif.
Hi Vicky.
Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for coming, appreciate it.
It's amazing to see what you've got going on here today. So tell me more about your recent contract win for the Mainprize Offshore MO8 Vessel.
Yeah, sure. So obviously that's great news for us, especially in the current climate with so many restrictions on doing business. But yeah, we've known Mainprize Offshore for quite some time. We're in a similar space with MRE. We operate vessels, and we've known Bob, the managing director, for quite some years. We've been discussing building more vessels since we completed our last build for Manor Renewable Energy, so looking further outside. And Mainprize were keen to talk to us, so we've been obviously in deep discussions for some time, and finally we got to a position where we're both happy with commencing the contract. MO8 is now well and truly underway. It's the first vessel to be built here in our new facility, high-speed vessel building. We've just taken over this last year in Portland. It's an extra 2,000 square metres to us. MO8 is the first one to be christened here. Also working on some energy storage projects for various customers here as well. So the shed's quite big, as you can see, and Mainprize are taking the option for the MO9. Obviously it's not underway as yet, but we hope to get that confirmed and underway and built within the next month or so. You know, it's nice to have a new facility and have the work that it demands. It's great for this part of the country as well. Certainly South Coast can get left behind with shipbuilding. It's a very difficult place to be in. But Manor Marine, you know, we also support MRE's ever-evolving temporary power requirements and their vessel requirements. So we don't really stop so much when things quiet down for MRE. They build up for Manor Marine, because we then have to refurbish fuel tanks and all the various bespoke offerings they've got for temporary power. So very busy time for us.
Brilliant. And that sort of leads me on to say, sort of, what are you working on next? What's next for MRE?
As you know, we are in Asia now with lots of different temporary power projects. They all require their own different tweaks, and from an engineering perspective, we have to tailor for accommodate different size tanks, different TP footprints. And of course, wind turbines are getting much bigger. So of course, generators that we need, they need to be as environmentally friendly as possible. So we're into new emissions, tier 5 emissions. And then we're also getting bigger because you're running up to 12, 15, eventually 20 megawatt machines out there. So they need a little bit more life support. So it's planning that and where it's going to be needed within the world, and who those developers are and who those suppliers are.
Yeah, big plans. Brilliant. Okay, thanks, Leif. That's great.